America's at war with Iran, again, just days into what the White House called decisive action to dismantle Tehran's nuclear ambitions and to end its threat forever, including Supreme Leader Khamenei. Now reports are swirling of something far more dangerous, boots on the ground. Not American boots, not yet. This is a story of how a limited strike could be Trump's forever war, and why the latest twist with Kurdish fighters crossing from Iraq might be the tipping point. Stay with me as we go into this. Trump campaigned hard against endless wars. He pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal in his first term, assassinated Soleimani, and promised no more quagmires. This was reemphasized over and over again. As a military veteran of 27 years, I spent a lot of time in the Middle East between Afghanistan and Iraq and the Gulf states. And I can tell you, every place that had been hit, including the ones where we lost some service members, I've been there. So I've been on the ground, seen it, and experienced it. And it's not a place that you want to be. We've always called the Qatar base we're at the black hole, because that'd be the first place the Iranians want to pound in the ground. But it's going to be a quagmire that we're getting into. Or better yet, what I would like to say is that internal tar baby. Once you give it a 1-2 punch and then you want to kick it to get out, you're stuck. And we're going to end up being stuck with a lot of this. Something that just started in the last few days here is the buildup of Kurdish troops along the Iraqi-Iran border. And it's not a pretty picture. They've been plussed up in the last few months by the CIA, and it's going to end up being something bigger than we think it is. And everybody's got their own motives. They want to build a Kurdistan. You have the Turks to the north that hate them with all their might, don't want them around. And you've got everybody wanting a piece of the pie. The Saudis want the Iranians to pay a price for a lot of this. UAE has their financial center being squeezed. So it's a lot to play out of this, that our foreign policy is going to be tested to the very limits. And unfortunately, we do not have the A-team on the ground in this current administration. I wish we did. We don't have a Henry Kissinger or somebody to do some sleight of magic with their hands and cards. But, there yet, February 28th, they've done it. The joint strikes against Iran with Israel, nuclear sites, IRGC base has been hit, command centers, the regime reels. Justification? Prevent a nuclear breakout. But something that, they really hit on, we never really heard much on, is biological and chemical weapons. That's some scary stuff there. And, where WMDs become the pretext for invasion, Iran retaliates. Missiles on U.S. bases, proxies lighting up the region, cycle begins. At first, stop the bomb, then degrade the regime's ability to threaten allies. Now, support the internal uprising. Reports say that CIA's been in talks with Kurdish opposition groups, the PDKI, the PJAK, others in the coalition of political forces in Iranian Kurdistan about arming them to pressure Tehran from within. I'm telling you, the Kurds, if any group that's meant to stand and fight, those boys will fight definitely. I've seen them in action up hand. I don't like what a lot of things they do, but at least they're respectable. Trump even took calls with Iraqi Kurdish leaders to discuss next steps. The goal? Stretch Iranian forces thin, spark chaos, force collapse without full U.S. invasion. But history warns, proxy wars rarely stay proxy. Now, I know the CIA has been plussing up the Kurds with weapons and stuff, and I'm sure we're going to give them all the air support they need to go into Iran. But it's just going to be seeing what's going to happen if the Iranians would uprise against the IRGC. The IRGC is very well armed, and the Iranians are not. Now, the question is if the Kurds are going to support the Iranian people or not. Just have to wait and see on this.
CIA is working to arm Kurdish forces with the aim of fomenting an uprising in Iran. The sources say that the Trump administration has been in active discussions with Iranian opposition groups and Kurdish leaders in Iraq. One of the options being discussed was about providing them with military support. The report adds that Iranian Kurdish armed groups are seen by some U.S. officials as a potential ground force capable of stretching Tehran's security services. The groups have thousands of fighters operating along the Iraq-Iran border, primarily in Iraq's Kurdistan region. One person familiar with the talks says the idea would be for Kurdish forces to engage Iranian security services and pin them down, making it easier for an unarmed civilian in major cities to protest without fear.
I can tell you the Kurds are great fighters, but they got a lot of limitations. You know, from the Iraqi border going into the interior of Iran, they do not have the logistics. And logistics is everything to taking it to a fight. And if anything, they need that. And that's something that is going to be hard to give to them, or for them to really learn how that works. The other thing is that, which is an easy part, we'll give them plenty of air support. Now, the question is, if we make a mistake and end up starting to kill some of them, that might kill the initiative on their behalf. But again, air support's always been a tricky thing. That's something that the U.S. can definitely deliver. But for sustainment on the ground, that's going to be a tough nut to crack. It's going to have to be interesting to see if there's anything that the CIA can do to plus them up on that side of the house. And if they could, that would be interesting. That'd be something new that the CIA has not done. Usually it's just giving these proxies weapons and ammunition to go carry out the fight, but nothing beyond that. So I hope that this does go out, and I'm not for or against what Trump wants to do. I really want to see if this is going to be done. I want success. You don't do anything half-assed and get people killed and just come out saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. This is wash my hands of it." You're putting American lives on the line, and it's just not something you take lightly and not have the repercussions being felt. We've already had failures in Iraq and Afghanistan. A third time here is just going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. We need to rein in a president that just can go out there and start anything he wants, and really need to have Congress being a part of this and getting buy-in from the American people. I think a lot of people, regardless of the left or right, are not really into this and not understanding what the costs are. If people really understood the costs that we're going to be paying for this war in the billions of dollars and where it's going to come from, it'll change a lot of minds. That's all I got to say. It'll change a lot of minds. Trust me. Look at this, and I get a chance to really open this up and show people that there is a lot of dangers to this, that we've really got to take in what's going to happen to the soft underbelly, what the military has exposed weaknesses are here. And costs in the billions are really going to hurt us. And I hope to God that we get this over sooner than later.
Familiar with the plan are telling CNN that the Trump administration is working to arm Kurdish forces, who they then expect to take part in a ground operation in Iran in the coming days. Let's get to this crucial reporting. The CIA working to arm Kurdish forces to stage some sort of a major ground operation going inside Iran. They want to spark an uprising. The details are incredible. What are you learning?
That's right, Erin. It's a lot to unpack, honestly. This story continues to develop at a breakneck speed and often in mind-bending ways. We spent some time this evening with a senior Iranian Kurdish politician here in Iraqi Kurdistan who basically told us that the expectation among Kurdish Iranian opposition forces is that they will be going into Western Iran as part of some kind of a ground operation over the course or at some point during the next few days, that they will have support from the U.S. and from Israel, though he would not be drawn as to what exactly that support will look like. He also told us that President Trump himself had called the leader of the KDPI, which is one of these Iranian Kurdish opposition parties, today, and that they had what he characterized, I should say, as a positive conversation, though again, he did not give any details, and he said that we should be prepared for some surprises potentially tomorrow. Again, not giving details, but this is all coming at the same time as our colleagues Natasha Bertrand, Elena Treen, and Zachary Cohen are learning that the CIA has been working to arm Iranian Kurdish opposition forces with.
Now the bombshell. In the last 48 hours, thousands of PDKI and PJAK fighters reportedly crossed from northern Iraq into Iran's Kurdish majority areas. Reports from multiple sources, U.S. and Israeli intelligence, providing intel, possibly arms, which I think it is true. Airstrikes in western Iran may have softened defenses ahead of their push. This isn't just skirmishes, it's a new ground front. Separatist Kurds seizing positions, targeting IRGC outposts, aim to liberate regions and ignite broader revolt. Now, why does it matter? Mission creep in real time. What started as an air power now risks proxy ground troops. Escalation trap. Iran sees this invasion by proxy. Retaliation could hit U.S. assets harder. Regional blowback. Turkey hates any empowered Kurdish group. Baghdad uneasy. Saudi, Israel cheered on until it spirals. If Kurds hold ground, it fractures Iran. If they fail, it's a bloody stalemate. Either way, longer war, higher stakes. Now, options on the table. Double down on the air campaign. Green light, more Kurdish action. CIA arming reports suggest yes. Or pull back. Declare victory, risk losing weak. Iran's play, attrition, dig deep, bleed the coalition. Wait for the U.S. fatigue. Everybody knows the U.S. Doesn't take much pain. Trump insists on no forever wars, but without clear off-ramp, regime falls, or nukes are gone, this could drag years. Casualties mount, oil spikes, proxy flares in Lebanon, Yemen, and Iraq. And remember, no congressional authorization, no exit strategy announced. Now look at this. In conclusion, is Trump's forever war? Not yet, but every step, strikes, proxies, Kurdish incursion, mirrors the path that traps us before. We told Iraq would be quick, Afghanistan limited. Now Iran. I mean, it's 3 times the charm. The question isn't if we can win the battles, it's whether we can end the war before it ends us. Now, what do you think? Drop your take below. Let's talk about this because I'm not for or against what Trump is doing. I personally, as a veteran, am against this. If you're going to do it, have a strategy. How are you going to get in there and be able to get out and not be able to keep wearing our military out? Because the Chinese are watching. Everybody's watching, just to wait and see how this turns out because they're taking notice. I mean, it's going to spell the future to what's going to happen today. It always has repercussions. But in any case, like I've always said, everybody, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your community, and God bless the USA. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay kind, and as always, have a wonderful rowdy. Take good care of yourself and each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I'll see you in the next video.